Okay, people, insane episode to kick off this week. For starters, a major mangaka gets caught being a little bit naughty. We got big updates incoming for the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War anime, One Piece movie. You probably like, yo, when, where, how, what's gonna happen with the One Piece film Red movie? I got you covered on all the info. The Dr. Stone manga continues. Yes, people, I got more insight on what's happening next with the Dr. Stone manga. Big updates from Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. Dragon Ball Super took over Japan, and there's so much more in this episode, so without further ado, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's jump into another exciting episode of ForneverWorld, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related. And we don't bore you, we get into it. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, y'all know the drill. In case you don't, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and that bell to get all notifications. YouTube been bugging out. They don't want to see the god thrive and succeed, and it takes a couple of seconds to help out and help yourself out, because then you'll get updated on all the latest and greatest in the world of anime and manga. #1 anime and manga news show in the world. So yeah, let's talk about it. Hit them bells. And off rip, people, we got some insanity. Now, there's been a lot of mangaka, manga creators. When I say mangaka, in case you don't know what that means, that just means a manga creator, an author of a manga, whatever version it may be, whether it be just the author or just the illustrator or both. Nevertheless, a mangaka getting exposed is kind of a interesting thing, because for the most part you never really see that, right? You never really hear anything unless it's something really dark down the rabbit hole that we dare not speak of just messed up stuff. For the most part, mangaka, they try to be low key. You hear them, see them here and there. Lately they've been a little bit more active, I've been noticing, especially Weekly Shonen magazine authors. I've been noticing these dudes go in, and just in general, for the most part, everyone outside of Shonen Jump authors, they keep Shonen Jump authors like Togashi giving us little scribbles on the side of a paper like, hey, look, this is chapter 9 and here's some scribbles on the side of the paper. But aside from that, I just last night I was seeing, holy cow, George Morikawa is on Spaces, and also at the same time the author of Vinland Saga is on another space. It's like really awesome. Too bad we don't have translations. They really need to figure some shit out for that, because oh my god, I'd be in tune like a mo, you know what I'm saying? Well, I say all that to say that, again, authors be low-key, so when there is something that is exposing them, it's kind of somewhat of a big deal. And oh god, the artist of the One Punch Man manga, Yusuke Murata, you may have heard his name scattered about. Homie's one of the greatest artists right now in manga. It's just facts. Like, anytime there's a One Punch Man manga chapter that comes out, you can hear all the slander in the world, but one thing you'll never hear is, damn, Murata really don't know how to draw. Damn, Murata was lacking. Murata puts his all and everything into every chapter. So to hear that homie got caught slipping, homie got caught lacking out there in these Twitter streets, it is marvelous to say the least, because thankfully this exposure isn't something that is like gonna destroy his reputation. Although, in Japan they're very strict and they're very conservative on things like this. Yusuke Murata got caught sharing some naughty stuff over on Twitter, and I don't think it was necessarily on purpose, because he posted a link, some Japanese text and some katakana, and translating it says, I participated in Club Nan from today. We support you in the future. And again, I don't know if that was like an automatic link, like, you know how sometimes you press some stuff and it'll share out a message and you don't know, or because you signed up or whatever. And again, you're probably like, okay, who cares? What is Club Nana? What's going on there? And again, if you know anything about the world of anime and manga, a lot of these places expect even the creators to move accordingly in a conservative fashion of not, sticking out. The nail that sticks out gets hammered in. That's just like the law of the universe when it comes to Japan. However, when you look at what this Club Nan, or whatever the heck it's called, Club Nan, yeah, I can't really tell if that's even a real person. I'd imagine, and forgive me, I'm not trying to be offensive, but Shorty looks like either a real person, and honestly, I'm not really sure if this is AI generated or not, because Shorty looks like damn near a human meets anime character. But yeah, it's some Shorty in like bikinis, and then I go to another place and really just raunchiness, maids, Shorties like roped up. I'm looking here, like, even going down, there's like accounts with heart clips on it of like just very, very raunchy stuff, and I'm trying to tread lightly here on these YouTube streets so they don't clap your boy, but I'm just here in amazement at how freaking hilarious this is. Now granted, I hope nothing comes from it. I hope he doesn't get like, you know, caught out there and they're like, yo dog, you gotta go or some shit like that. Or it could be that he's already at the point that he wanna go, because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like One Punch Man is at an insane climax right now. So who knows if Yusuke Murata's like, well, maybe if I be a little bit of a horny prick, they'll get rid of me and I could walk away with my bonus or something like that. Because dog, this shit is just freaking absolutely hilarious, amazing, and I don't care what anyone says, this is win to just see a mangaka posted up out here posting some shit like this. Like, dog, these are some hotties out here, assuming that they again aren't AI generated, because shorty just looks like way too, you know, perfected on every angle or some shit, like a Kardashian, but just more, you know, I don't know, plasticky. No disrespect to the Kardashians, by the way. I just want to say that, okay? Like, don't hurt me. But yeah, Yusuke Murata exposed for being basically horny on the TL. Shit is crazy, hilarious, and you probably came in here like, oh no, I hope my favorite author, my favorite creator didn't get caught doing something bad. Well, if you consider that bad, I guess being a little bit lewd and probably accidental, it's not really a big deal. On top of that, everybody was for the most part having laughs and saying, yo, Murata, we get it. You click these links with one hand on the mouse and one hand down your, you know where. But yeah, people, major mangaka, huge mangaka caught lacking, and it's funny, honestly, for the most part, to see him exposed. I'm not quite mad at it, to be honest, my lord. Shoutouts to Murata, One Punch Man. I just keep hearing it slapping. I need to catch up. I'm still literally at the end of season 2 of the anime. Moving forward, One Piece fans, you're probably like, yo, dog, I'm dying to see Film Red. What's going on with Film Red? Where's Film Red? What's happening? Well, I got some information for your head top. One Piece Film Red coming to theaters in US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand this fall. Luffy and the Straw Hats are about to embark on a music-filled journey unlike any other. Definitely pushing that music thing. That kind of worries me. Crunchyroll is bringing One Piece Film Red to the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand later this year. And oh my god, let's freaking go this fall. I'm not even gonna lie. This year, I don't care what anyone says. I've been saying it, and I'm gonna still continue to say it, has felt very, very dry for, in particular, I gotta be very particular because a lot of people get offended, for action-oriented big anime that we all gonna talk about on the TL. You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna go crazy, feeling like, yo, we feasting, we eating. It's been very dry. Like, at the end of the day, Spy Family was awesome. I'm hearing rumblings because people was clapping at me. I like Kaguya-sama Love is War, okay? Relax. And, you know, that's kind of been a thing or whatnot, but it's just been really, from what I feel, kind of dry. Maybe I'm looking from a different perspective, but when I constantly think about what the fall time, what autumn, the fall season has in store for us, I'm like, dog, there's from Chainsaw Man to Bleach to the movies to, and then now you adding One Piece Film Red. This fall is going to be probably the best thing to happen to anime. Not probably, this is 100% the biggest thing. This is what I'm waiting for to really dive my feet in. Like, I've been little by little getting back in, you know, I've started reading and catching back up to the things that I love and whatnot, and then when I come to this, I'm like, oh my god, yes, this is, I'm getting prepared for the absolute greatness that is about to take place come this fall season. And this is one other thing, One Piece Film Red for North America, Australia, and all of the other areas. We're gonna be getting this film shortly after, which it comes out in August, so fall, what would that be, like September, October-ish? Like, I'm fine with that. I mean, granted, I would love for a simultaneous worldwide release, but because of, you know, piracy and all that jazz, I'd imagine, even though realistically a dude's gonna sneak into the theaters over there in Japan and film that shit and it'll be on the internet anyway, why not do a simultaneous release and then boom, 3 months later, Blu-ray release worldwide? So I don't understand that. Maybe it's a business thing. Maybe at the end of the day, they know the numbers better than us, right? They always have to have some sort of reference. I can't help but think that when they make these moves, like, you know, let's just say an anime that is kind of making terrible decisions, Boruto up until recently, there has to be a reason behind it, and mainly due to them having numbers that we can't see. Like, hey, it may be tanking on this market, but in this market, it's so lucrative that it doesn't matter if it tanks in this market because this market is making a shit ton of money. So probably it makes just more sense for them financially to release it, you know, here and there. Maybe it also tests out markets. Maybe it also is a demonstration and a proof of concept, so to speak, for other theaters to, like, you know, chime in. And just in general, it's like a data gathering technique of, yeah, we'll release it in Japan in August and then boom, you get it after, yada yada yada. So yeah, people, One Piece Film Red this fall, North America. I will be there. I will be very, very excited. Although the music thing, you know, at first I was like, I don't know, because usually when they say music, it's not like it's gonna be, you know, some really, well, it could be some awesome music, but they normally mean like a musical type of thing. And while I do musicals here on Forever News, I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna be all that enthusiastic about it in One Piece Film Red when I want to just see like pirates kicking the shit out of each other with some awesome storytelling. But I guess we'll find out, huh? Bleach fans, oh my god, it's almost here. I keep talking about the glorious 2022 fall season that is approaching, but Bleach fans, we got more to be excited about because we're about to get some bombs dropped on us on what's coming next, which I'm not even gonna lie, I am desperate, absolutely desperate for a trailer, a real trailer for the upcoming Bleach 1000 Blood War. Now you're probably thinking, Forever, what are you talking about? You made like 100 videos, you did a live reaction, they had a big Bleach trailer. No, that trailer is a pre-render. This is a basically, hey, we're doing the 1000 Blood War, you and like 3 other dudes or 1 dude or whatever, how many people it took to make that, go make a really dope trailer so that we could get people excited and showcase like, yo, it's coming, yada yada. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the anime is going to look like. It could look absolutely ass backwards, bonkers, terrible if they don't really put the manpower and the money necessary behind it. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be the case for Bleach's 1000 Blood War, but I'm saying that we don't have a trailer showcasing what the show is going to look like. Like, hey, they took clips from episodes 1 through 8 and they smashed it up into a big trailer for us. We don't have that yet, so we technically still don't necessarily really know what the Bleach anime is going to look like because that was a pre-rendered trailer that had nothing to do with the production stuff that they had at hand. I'm imagining. Again, I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to put some type of effort behind this because this is a big revival and this is a big deal. It's freaking Bleach. But according to this, apparently Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War arc anime will be receiving new information next week in Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 31, and that was basically from this issue of Weekly Shonen Jump of like, you know, 626. It gets officially released in North America. So next week, which pretty much I'd imagine by next episode of Forever News, I'll have a big update for you guys. Whatever it is, whether it be a new trailer, whether it be like, hey, this is the studio behind it with the animators, we're probably going to finally get some real information on the Bleach 1000 Blood War that's going to demonstrate, okay, this is what it's looking like, this is who's involved, this is all the official things, this is what Kubo has to say, because we know that Kubo loves to be all up in the music videos, all up in there. Come to Kubo's clubhouse. No. I'm just hoping that this information is actually really like, you know, useful, so to speak, because yeah, I don't want to just see like, again, a black and white from the manga, you know, panel with some text or some shit like that, because at the end of the day, that doesn't give us anything. Like, I remember when the Jump Festa thing was happening, not only they released the trailer, but they had that page of Ichigo, and it wasn't even in color. So what does that do for us? Because hey, I read the manga about 6 years ago now, dog. Like, I don't need that. I need more of, here's the character designs, here's what the anime is going to look like, here's the main characters and the finalized designs. That's what I freaking need. So hopefully that's the big updates we get. We gotta wait and see. Either way, as we're approaching, I'd imagine if it's not gonna be this month, it clearly has to be like next month that we actually get an official trailer, because yo, fall season's right around the corner. We gotta get something. Come on now you're playing, and usually actually they wait for Anime Expo, so God knows, maybe that's actually what they're waiting for, Anime Expo, and then boom, we get the big announcement. They usually wait for those type of events to announce big things. Like, I remember back when the Broly film was announced and stuff like that, they had a big announcement. Like, I was on the plane leaving Anime Expo and they announced it, so maybe around Anime Expo we'll get some type of big Bleach announcements. But yeah, we gotta wait and see again. And speaking of designs, while this isn't necessarily breaking news, I felt that this was very interesting for Black Clover fans that I report on this because it's fascinating. Now, I'm gonna keep this on a rumor pile, but it seems legit unless this person is really just misinformed, that Black Clover, the anime, upon conception, it felt like just honestly either they didn't know what they were doing, or it was such a rush job and a mess that they were scrambling. And yeah, because this piece of information is kind of shocking and, dare I say it, almost unbelievable, because when an anime is coming through, you need a decent amount of time for pre-production. If you really want to bang her up, you need like a year or even a year and a half to 2 years or something to really get everything down packed. Like when Demon Slayer's anime, for example, from Studio Ufotable, in case you don't know about Demon Slayer, episodes. Literally one of the most gorgeous shonen anime of all time. The art and animation is just insane. And I remember it was way before the anime even started. They had like 6 to 8 minutes of the first episode. It was some crazy, maybe I'm exaggerating, might have been 4, but there was a bunch of minutes of the episode that they had just, hey, check it out, look what it looks like. And it was like flawless. So you need that time to have pre-production and showcase like, yo, dog, we put a lot of effort into this. We didn't just slap this together. However, based on this, it seems like Black Clover was through and through, not only just the way the anime sometimes would fall apart with art and animation early on, but just in general, a massive rush job. Because I remember Black Clover when it was first announced that it came through, it was like, okay, it's 51 episodes, and it wasn't until like literally episode 40 something that they were like, yo, we're gonna order another 50 or something like that. So they really weren't thinking too long term, or with longevity in mind with Black Clover in terms of, at the very least, the anime production side of things. But it gets worse. If this is accurate, then holy cow, salute to Studio Pierrot, the people that did this, but also at the same time it's hard to salute them because what? So it seems Black Clover's designs of the main characters, Asta, Yuno, pretty much I'm imagining the Black Bulls, were finalized in late May, June 2017 for an early October release. Do you understand how terrible and how is that even possible that essentially they didn't have all the designs finalized until May or June? Let's just say we're gonna give them the benefit of that. We're gonna say May, right? How in the blue hell from May to October did you create the first X amount of episodes? Because you need those characters finalized to create. I mean, for crying out loud, Asta's all up and down. Likewise with episodes 1 and beyond. So how in the blue hell would that even be possible? Like, literally from what the person is saying is, yeah, pre-production for a long-running show especially, you need to have everything down packed. And this is why I bring this up as well, because we just spoke about Bleach, and if this is the type of bullshit that they're doing, not saying that they are, from everything that's been gathered, it seems as though they've been really carefully crafting this big revival of Bleach. But this right here is what makes me look at Studio Pierrot with the ultimate side eye. Like, either the contracts were so delayed that y'all didn't even really understand what y'all were getting yourselves into until May or June of 2017, or what the hell? Because how do you finalize character designs in May and June and have the first episode of a 51 plus episode, at the very least it was only planned for 50 at the time, anime by October? That is absolutely madness, and that is why stuff falls apart for these series. Because like at the end of the day, how the blue blazing do you even attempt to do something like that? Honestly, I look at this like, if Studio Pierrot does that with Bleach, again, I don't think that's the case. I've been hearing nothing but great things. But if they did, that would be a travesty. In fact, whenever Black Clover returns, I'm questioning, because they announced the movie right at the tail end. The last episode airs. Boom, we got a movie incoming. And we're 2022, heading into 6 months till 2023. And no movie. Well, the manga is also on hiatus. It's dark times for Black Clover fans. But nevertheless, Studio Pierrot, get it together. I hope this isn't the same people from 2017 that are doing things now, because it would make a lot of sense and it would explain a lot regarding Boruto, Black Clover anime, just in general. Like, yo, they be rushing to shit, and that's why we get Boruto filler galore. That's why we get those episodes like Black Clover where he was running and it looks like red paint behind him because it looks so terrible. They rushing to the dollars and not realizing, you make quality work, the dollars are gonna come. Because like, imagine if Black Clover had Studio Ufotable behind it. It would be... Yeah, people, I thought that was a very fascinating read to give you guys, that something like that actually is possible. If Black Clover's anime final character designs for the main characters was created by May, June, or finalized, and not with the anime only a few months apart from release, that is madness. Dr. Stone fans, it's been one heck of a ride to say the least, with the manga wrapping up, the anime being delayed out the wazoo. All we know is that the Ryusai special is supposed to be coming, I want to say this month or next month, for the Dr. Stone anime. It's been pretty turbulent to say the least for Dr. Stone. However, for people that maybe you weren't satisfied with the ending of the manga, maybe you wanted more, we talked about a little bit of what Richiro Inagaki, if I'm not mistaken, or was it Boichi, one of the creators of Dr. Stone, had came out and said that Dr. Stone is not over. And a lot of people were like, he's probably just referring to that the anime still has more seasons to come. We still got that TV special that's coming out this summer, yada yada. Well, according to this, if you were wanting more after the end of the Dr. Stone manga, you're getting more. Dr. Stone's special chapter appears to narrate events set just a little bit after its finale, consisting of a total of 51 pages and a color page scheduled to be published in issue number 31. So next week you're getting 51 pages with narration that takes place slightly after the end of the Dr. Stone manga. I've never read the ending in the Dr. Stone manga. I'm anime only when it comes to Dr. Stone, so I don't know what possibly could come after and how it would affect things and whatnot, but that is very good for Dr. Stone fans, especially if, let's just say, because a lot of people said that it kind of just ends, that it's not like the biggest grandiose ending. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, that's what I've heard. And this could give more, and who knows, this could be setting up for Dr. Stone 2 if they decided to do something like that, which honestly would work, especially with the big delay of the anime. Like, if they decided to continue Dr. Stone, maybe it's no longer the Stone Age, it's Dr. Metal or some shit, I don't fucking know. That'd be interesting, and at the same time, I've always appreciated Dr. Stone for being unique, doing its own thing, and being kind of a standalone in Shonen Jump all these years. But hey, if you wanted more Dr. Stone, there's a special chapter incoming, 51 pages, color page, you name it, the bells and whistles, and it takes place after, and that's always a really dope thing for me personally for any manga. Like when it ends and you're like, oh, I just want to see this world one more time. They came through and said, here you go. But this also could be something that maybe they're going to be animating for, like, you know, a movie per se. Like, they've been doing a lot of interesting things where they'll animate straight up some chapters. I mean, look at Jujutsu Kaisen Zero's movie that's based off of a canceled 4-chapter. How many chapters was Jujutsu Kaisen Zero? Like, very short run, and they made a whole movie off of that, and it made a crazy amount of money, so anything's possible. Mashle Magic and Muscles fans, y'all probably are already excited. You heard, in case you didn't, that Mashle is getting an anime, and it's long overdue, to be honest with you. Mashle has been running for a good minute. The sales have been pretty awesome for the most part. Definitely started to decline because this has been like one of the most longest runs waiting for an anime to come. Like, I feel like Mashle should already have an anime, whether it be 10 episodes in or something. Like, Mashle should have something airing at this point, in my opinion. This has been a real long wait for Mashle to get an anime, but nevertheless, recently it was announced, boom, Mashle Magic and Muscles anime incoming. However, we got a little bit more of an update on when it's coming, because probably people thinking like, yo, okay, so is it going to be like a fall thing? We don't need anything else in fall. I'm gonna just keep it real. Let's save some gems and jewels for down the road, because fall is already massively packed, from Hell's Paradise to you name it. The fall season of anime 2022 is gonna have it. Well, Mashle Magic and Muscles TV anime is apparently scheduled to air in 2023, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm okay with that. Like, there's some downsides to it, definitely. Like, yo, the popularity is gonna continue to slip, and also more than likely that'll give them time to end it, because from my understanding, Mashle is already in its final arc, and it seems as though Shonen Jump really is dead set on having an anime run by itself and having the manga over. This might be the future of it, where you're just gonna have the anime and the manga will be over while the anime runs, because it probably is the case, and that's probably why it's coming in 2023. Gives Hajime Komodo enough time to wrap up everything, and boom, here comes the anime at the end of the Mashle manga. I don't know how that's going to work, but hey, also a great thing that, hey, 2023, we have at least one major thing that is definitely going to be incoming, amongst a few others that we know is coming in 2023, but especially for people that are like, yo, where's the next big hit coming from Shonen Jump? When is it coming? I'm pretty sure Mashle is going to be pretty big, unless it's like, I don't know, Studio Pierrot or Toei Animation gets it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to sleep on them, because Toei has done some great things, likewise with Pierrot, but we've seen in recent times from the World Trigger anime, not the latest seasons where they finally said, oh, let's do seasonal stuff. I'm talking about early World Trigger, Black Clover anime, like, you know, it's a hit and miss. There's some really terrible episodes. Boruto, oh my god. And Mashle feels like the type of series that if they decided to, they could have extended the crap out of it with filler. Thankfully, if they're wrapping up the manga, that might be the end of filler. Who knows? The way Shonen Jump is headed and the way manga is headed, where they're ending the manga first, that might be the end of filler. They finally probably realize, yo, dog, filler is not what people want. Let's get rid of that, and hopefully someday some other series like, I don't know, Boruto follows suit and just, let's go seasonal, my lord. ForneverWorld, shut the hell up. I want my Boruto every week. I don't care if the episodes are garbage. I just want to see Studio Pierrot put some shit on my screen. God damn, what's wrong with you? I'm joking, my lord. Relax, relax. But yes, people, Mashle, Magic and Muscles, 2023 anime. Dare I say it? Let's go. Okay, people, I think we skipped a week, but it's time to jump into the top 50 best-selling manga of the week, courtesy of Jos_Ke. And off rip, we got 50 through 41. We got a couple of, I guess, for the most part, somewhat notable names. We got Aoashi opening up at 50 with volume 28, 14,000. Few other ones. We got the Kendaichi manga, 16,000. Detective Conan, 41, another 16,000. Pretty low at the end, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Actually, I take that back. That's not that low. I remember, what was it, a week or two ago, me and Roboko did like 10K and squeezed in the number 50. So actually not too bad. Then we got places 40 through 31. Another Detective Conan volume. That Detective Conan spinoff is doing numbers, I tell you. I think it's because of that anime that came out. Is it out? I want to say the anime is out with 16.4. Then all the way up at number 32, we got Soso no Frieren, 23,000 on there, and that is going to be a big one. I ain't going to lie. I'm excited for whenever the anime comes out. It's being promoted everywhere. When I go to Barnes and Nobles, it has its own big section. That one is a big one. I'm telling you people ahead of time, the numbers showcase Soso no Frieren is going to be something big. Then we got places 30 through 21, and forgive me for jumping through, but there's just so much unfamiliar stuff, and I don't want to fake like, hey, if I don't know the manga, it is what it is. I don't know it. I'm sorry. Noragami volume 25 in 4 days, 26,000. Not too bad. Or is it 28? 28. Then Spy Family tearing it up, places 24 to 21, from 28,000 to 30,000. Oh, never mind. Then from 20 to 18, there's more of that. Ooh, number 17, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Crazy Diamonds Demonic Heartbreak. Oh, the spinoff for JoJo's. I didn't even realize the chapters were out already. Honestly, I forget. Sometimes I report it on here and then it's like, woo! But volume 1 did 35,000 in 3 days. That's not bad at all for a spinoff of a manga that came out like fucking 20, 30 years ago. That's actually pretty good. And definitely something that I'm going to wait. I'm not going to read because I know that this is intended for a Netflix anime, that it has to be. Spy Family again at number 16, 37,000. At number 14, One Punch Man volume 26, 41,000 in 17 days, 253. A lot of noise with One Punch Man lately. It makes me wonder, are they gonna wrap up the manga soon? Usually when the noise gets so unbearable that even though I'm not even reading One Punch Man, I can't escape it. It's either a couple things, it's getting ready to end, something big is going to happen, or it's just really like, yo, a climactic arc. But usually when it's inescapable, it's probably that they're pulling out all the stops because maybe we're headed towards a climax. We got at number 13, Arson Senki, which I want to say the author of Full Metal does the art on that one. 44,000, not bad at all. Then top 10. Very excited to jump into this one. For starters, we got a Tokyo Revengers character book, volume 3, in 3 days, 52,000. That is very, very excellent. Number 8, this one right here. In case you missed it, I made a video, I want to say last year. I'm going to put it right here. Chris, right here. This is the new manga from the author of Full Metal Alchemist. She is doing, if I'm not mistaken, the art and story. This is like, hey, my next edition. I think she took a break from, you know, the action stuff of being the mangaka, you know, art and characters, story-wise, yada yada, and did like Silver Spoon, and then did like art on Arson Senki and little stuff here and there. But this is her first full-on shonen battle series that she is taking the helm of, so to speak, and doing everything. And I'm not even gonna lie, for starters, the sales, and we must have missed it last week, I didn't even realize that, but in 10 days it has done 120,000. And from what I read with that first chapter, if it continued that way, to be honest with you, I'm kind of lacking on that, but it was incredible. It had so much already off rip potential that, yeah, I could see this being the next big hit. And I'm very, very excited as well, because this is a Square Enix manga. They come and go, and you know, it's like if it's a Disney project, it might be big, but 120,000 in 10 days, 70,000 in its basically second week of release, so to speak. That is phenomenal, and I'm so happy to see that. Yo, it looks like Hiromu Arakawa is back with a hit. I think we already have a hit. I think Yomi no Suga is a hit, and if you haven't been reading it, check it out, because at the very least, I can tell you the first chapter was insane, and such a big way to start things off. Whenever that gets an anime, inevitably, clearly getting an anime, it is going to be absolutely massive. There's just no freaking way, because that first episode is going to go bonkers. Kaguya-sama Love is War, volume 26, 83,000. Really good stuff in 3 days. It looks like sales are actually really good this week. A lot of these are only like 3-day sales, or we're getting like an extra 3 days. We got Zero no Tea Time, if I'm not mistaken. That's another Detective Conan spinoff, 89,000. Golden Kamui Volume 30, 141,000. Wow, that's really, really good. Soso no Free Eren Volume 8, 143,000 in 3 days. Excellent, excellent. Kingdom, 3 days, 345,000 for Volume 65. Oh my god, Kingdom, how do you do it? No one gives a flying rat's ass about that anime, and yet, look at that. Bravo, bravo, that manga author is a legend walking. Then, number 1, it's very good. It's looking very good because these are, again, only 3 days sales. Tokyo Revengers Volume 28 in 3 days, 408 or 6, forgive me, these are blurry as hell, but over 400,000 copies for Volume 28 in 3 days. Now, if that was a full week, I would say, oh god, that's not good for Tokyo Revengers. That's a massive, steep decline. I've seen the manga do more than that, way more than that, in week 1. However, for 3 days, that is excellent. The cover looks dope. We gotta wait and see, I guess, after the next one. Like, if the next one, it only does 50k, I highly doubt. I think it's gonna do probably $120 next week. I'm gonna call it. Let's see if I'm right. I think those numbers are not that bad. It's probably a decline. It seems as though Tokyo Revengers is on a decline. It had like a massive boost and destroyed everything while the anime came out, and then it's slowly dipping and fans are slowly shitting on it. That's pretty much majority of manga, but especially with Weekly Shonen Magazine. Like, the longer Fairy Tail went on, the more people hated it. The longer the 7 Deadly Sins went on, the more people hated it. The more Tokyo Revengers is going on, the more people are hating it. Yeah, people, those were the top 50 best-selling manga of the week, courtesy of Jose_Ke. I'm looking forward to seeing next week's numbers. Dragon Ball fans, I got a couple of pieces of news. For starters, Dragon Ball Superhero took over Japan to a certain degree, I guess you would argue, because according to this, it says, official Dragon Ball Super Japanese account teases that something will happen tonight. This was when, you know, the announcement was being teased, and it mentioned to pay close attention to different towers in Japan, and it was due to, you know, Dragon Ball Superhero. And what they did, basically, in honor of Dragon Ball Superhero, is they turned some of the towers into like red and green in particular, like to, you know, celebrate, I guess, superhero, even though what does turning it green? I mean, maybe it's for Piccolo. Shout outs to Piccolo. Yeah, they did this for Piccolo. Let's freaking go. And there's like a purple lighting right in the middle. Honestly, that's damn near perfect. Holy shit, that is. Wow, that's a shout to Piccolo. Japan, way to go. Hold on. Recognizing the real greatness, okay? Understanding the real greatness. And all around, I like it when they do stuff like that. It just shows the impact of anime and manga, not only in the community, but worldwide. Dog, they're messing with towers in honor of a movie. And in more Dragon Ball Superhero related news, Dragon Ball Superhero film sells 1 million tickets after 12 days. Dragon Ball Superhero, the second anime film in the Dragon Ball Super franchise, has sold over 1 million tickets after 12 days at the box office. To celebrate, the official Toei channel on YouTube streamed the first 5 minutes of the movie, which I'm not even gonna lie, I found that interesting. I did not watch it. I think it's off as you're watching this right now. They removed it. They showed the first 5 minutes. From what somebody told me, don't quote me on this, but I heard that there was like 2 minutes of 2D animation, and I'm wondering if they were trying to clickbait people with that, like, yo dog, it's not as bad. But also, to me, that is definitely a massive sign that Dragon Ball Superhero isn't doing what they had hoped, expected, or just in general, they're trying their best to change the, you know, online opinion, so to speak, with, hey guys, look, there's 5 minutes, you get to see what's really going down, man. You'll get to understand that this movie is great. I think that that's why they did that, to be honest with you. I think it's to get a little more interest in it, because as I reported, for starters, the opening week was like the slowest to reach 1 billion, something like that. Like, it hasn't been the greatest for this film. Again, it's trying to penetrate different markets. It's going in a different direction. It's giving some of the battle aspects, but being realistic, we only know about the big things that we really love and care about through leaks. They haven't been aggressive on marketing any of that shit. I think when it comes to the West, they're gonna probably put more behind it. Like the first big trailer when, you know, Crunchyroll is dubbing it, it's probably going to be Gohan and Piccolo related. It feels like, though, this is not necessarily, I don't want to say a desperate attempt, but definitely aggressive marketing to say, hey, we know you counted it out. We know you don't care about this film, a lot of you guys. Look why you should really care. Here's 5 minutes. We care about you, care about us. And I'll be honest with you, they kind of morphed my opinion when I started seeing like, yo, there's fan service that I just can't ignore. Some fan service I can't ignore. And I'm not talking about busty elements. I'm talking about, yo, Gohan and Piccolo. That is just so fire to me, of as adults seeing him side by side with a sensei, the return of Cell. They knew what they were doing at the end of the day. They knew that at the very least, even a cat like me that was heavily and still is heavily against 3D CG is going to turn around and say, alright, let's go pull up and see what Piccolo's doing now. Well, let's see my guy Gohan get his moment, I guess. And they're like, yo, and here's 5 more minutes for the others that don't want to fucking give it a go. Yeah, people, Dragon Ball Superhero, they had 5 minutes of it online to see if people care, and I guess we'll see. I'm very interested to see the North American numbers, because there's been a lot of people that are like, I don't want that, that's not my Dragon Ball, fam. Those numbers are going to be fascinating, and you already know, the Nev Dog is going to have you on that. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button so you be in tune with if Dragon Ball Superhero does well or not in the US, North America, and everywhere outside of Japan, that while it's doing decent numbers, is behind all of the other Dragon Ball films that have been released since the Battle of Gods. Speaking of movies, Jujutsu Kaisen fans, it's been forever since I reported anything on the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero film success. Let's take a double back and see, well, what's been happening with Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero climbs past $180 million US worldwide box office. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero concluded in Japanese theaters a little under a month ago, and while it's still having special showings around the world, Oricon has announced the current worldwide box office total for the blockbuster anime film, confirming it has made 24.25 billion yen, around $180 million around the world. Breaking up the numbers, it was 121 million in the what? No fucking way. Oh, okay, that was the Japanese numbers. I thought that was from the US. Never mind. Breaking up the numbers, 13.75 billion yen, $121 million in Japan. And the worldwide box office, breaking up the numbers, 13.75 billion yen, approximately US $121 million of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero's worldwide box office is from Japan, while the remaining 10.5 billion yen, US $78 million, is from 80 countries. And that's why they always have to make sure that it pops in Japan, because Japan is still gonna always be their big breadwinner. Hello, it's from Japan, so that's why they have to move accordingly and make sure that Japan is straight. That's why they always got to make sure Japan is straight, because if Japan ain't straight, the whole thing ain't straight. The film was screened over 8,000 theaters. 9.9 million tickets were sold for Jujutsu Kaisen Zero in theaters outside of Japan, with 9.8 million tickets sold for the film in Japan alone. And I'm not gonna lie, $180 million for this film is phenomenal. I know most people are like, well, Demon Slayer did $500 million or whatever, and that is definitely true. And I look at it as follows. Demon Slayer is the Dragon Ball Z of this generation. Jujutsu Kaisen is the Yu Yu Hakusho of this generation. Both wildly successful, one more so than the other, and one arguably, and I'm solely speaking in terms of the narrative, because they're both freaking awesome shows. They both are really, really good. But yeah, that's how I kind of compartmentalize it. It's like the Dragon Ball Z and the Yu Yu Hakusho of this generation, both wildly successful. Again, just one doesn't really measure up success-wise to the other, but they're both really freaking good, and Jujutsu Kaisen deserves that 180 million. I don't know what they broke off Gege, probably not much. Hopefully the next one comes out and they actually break off Gege with what they deserve, because yeah, $180 million, and I'd imagine Gege probably walked away with like 10k or something ridiculous. In case you don't know, check back one of my episodes of ForneverWorld where I talked about that. Koyoharu Gotoge, author of Demon Slayer, was paid pennies for the Mugen Train film, despite it doing like $500 million. Not my typical news that I like to cover, but I felt it was significant. I do like the show, and overall I think it's very important that, from what I'm hearing, apparently murmurings are saying that Kaguya-sama Love is War's manga is getting ready to end. According to this, it says Kaguya-sama Love is War by Aka Akasaka will be, Aka Akasaka, aka Akasaka, let's go, will be ending in 14 chapters. The series will conclude with its 28th volume, and that sounds about right. They've been saying that it's in its climax for a little bit, and I'm interested to see how that's going to affect the anime. Again, I like Kaguya-sama. From the episodes I've seen, it was kind of like a romance with Death Note elements in it, not like murder, but like mind games of like a Death Note level mind games in it, and I kind of like Kaguya-sama, so it's definitely going to be sad for it to go, and it's also obviously going to affect, hey, how many more seasons of the anime, but hopefully they give a good conclusion. That's one of the most important things, of course, and just in general, I wanted to give, a little bit of breadcrumbs for the people that love Kaguya-sama. It's ending, my lord. 14 more chapters, 28th volume. Let's go. Don't know why I put on this accent, my lord. You probably hate it. Don't care. Now, if you've been watching and enjoying Spy Family this season, and you're like, oh my god, what happened to my sweet little innocent anime? Where did it go? They said it was was supposed to be 2 cores. What went down? Well, Spy Family wrapped its first core with its final, I want to say the 12th episode of its season, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people were left wondering, like, yo, dog, I want more Spy Family. Where's my Anya? Where's Lloyd? What's going on here, fam? Well, according to this, Spy Family anime will return its second core in October 2022. Second core will be 13 episodes long. So one more thing for you to watch this fall season. Like, I don't care if you like anime or manga, you are going to really be in for a treat this fall season. And if I'm wrong, then by golly, I'm wrong. But there's just too much shit for me to be wrong. Like, everything across the board would have to fail in order for me to be like, oh, okay, like, this is bad. Because, yeah, even now, Spy Family's second core is going to be running through, which I honestly feel like that was a bad choice. And it might be because of production issues. Realistically, they're splitting the production duties between Studio Wit and Studio Cloverworks. Yeah, it probably would have made more sense to run it through all the way till fall, because fall is just too packed. I'll keep it a buck with you, and it'll be hilarious if I'm wrong on this one. And if I'm wrong, I will come in and gladly say, yo, dog, I was wrong. But imagine Spy Family, something is so godlike in those next 13 episodes that it overshadows Bleach and Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise and everything else. That would be the most ironic outcome, and possibly, according to like somebody like Elon Musk, the most likely. Usually the ironic outcome is the one that'll happen. So I'm gonna say here, Spy Family is gonna overshadow everything, apparently. Yeah, I had to give this because I'm sure there's some people that are like, oh, freak, man, I was really enjoying that. It's coming back with 13 episodes, along with like 50 other anime that you're gonna love and enjoy. So lock down your schedules, mate. Chainsaw Man fans, this is worrisome and not worrisome at the same time, to say the least. In case you don't know, Chainsaw Man anime incoming fall, yada yada, big season, you already know the drill. But a lot of people are like, okay, fall, we had a pre-rendered trailer. We don't even really know what the show's gonna look like per se, but hey, why not? Fall season. But we got an update that makes me like, okay, the wording makes me not feel so scared, but nevertheless, if you're a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan of the anime in particular, what are you feeling right now? Waiting for those Stone Ocean episodes, you're probably feeling like, why? You're not liking it, right? Well, any anime that gets next to Netflix is going to be a little something to be worried about. You gotta be looking like, ooh, are they gonna, destroy us? How's this gonna work? And rightfully so to have that mindset, because again, I want more Stone Ocean. I freaking hate waiting. I thought that this was gonna be easier to do than it actually is, of 12 episodes and wait when we know JoJo's Fridays, what happened to that, please? But Chainsaw Man apparently will stream on Netflix too. Chainsaw Man is scheduled to be broadcast and distributed on terrestrial broadcasting and Netflix this fall, and the second part of the original Gakuen will be serialized. We already know that. Tanaka predicts this work will not be noticed by the world in earnest, meaning that it's going to be huge. But I will say that, honestly, I think that it's not the worst thing in the world, because they say on Netflix 2, which means that, hey, they could probably be releasing the episodes weekly over on Netflix, which is cool. But yeah, if it was Netflix locked, if Netflix was like, hey, here's a gajillion million dollars, which they probably would have done if it's not that the whole case of them losing 200,000 customers and firing people every other day, it probably could have gone that way. Thank goodness for what the hell happened, because I would have hurt somebody if they would have had like, yo, dog, we got to go through Netflix and the Netflix jail and all that stuff. I would have gone bonkers. So thankfully, it seems as though it's going to be on Netflix, seemingly, and that could also just mean Netflix Japan, which, yeah, if that's the case, who gives a shit? But if it's on Netflix over here in the West as well, then as long as it's on everywhere else, I don't really care. It's not a big deal, nothing to panic about. Now, when it says Netflix original or some shit, we get the pitchforks, we get the torches, and we start screaming, Chainsaw Man, save us! Because at that point, then all hope is lost. But it says 2, which means that Netflix didn't offer up the right bag, and again, it could also just mean Netflix Japan, which again, who cares at that point? We're not in Japan. It's not going to affect us one way or another, unless again Netflix sneaks in and is like, you know what, we do have an extra bag in this safe right here, let's bring some of that money out, tell them we want the whole thing, the whole shebang. And at that point, no, seriously, Chainsaw Man, for the love of God, save us from that. Chainsaw Man will be available on Netflix somewhere in the world. Now, my favorite segment that I recently added, where we talk a little bit of music, and again, this segment will be the last time where it's more so like straight up hip-hop hop oriented. I know I promised, like, yo, dog, I'm gonna add heavy metal. Please, by all means, if there's anything you want on my radar, a band, something, let me know. I will check into them, keep up to date with them or whatnot. There's a few bands that I've recently been getting into that I'm like, okay, I could probably keep up with that. So definitely fill me in on what you want me to report on and whatnot, and I will stay on the pulse of it. But right now, this is going to be the last time where it's just straight up hip-hop oriented, because for starters, I gotta talk about Lupe Fiasco's new album that recently dropped. Highly recommend. I listened to the whole thing straight up and down. It is called Drill Music in Zion, and if you know anything about Lupe Fiasco, he is a very incredible hip-hop artist. Now, oddly enough, I've always been sleeping on Lupe. Because I couldn't tell you why. Maybe it's just something within me, because realistically, Lupe has always been the type of artist that I would immediately gravitate towards. He reminds me in certain areas and certain elements of Lupe is somebody that does not care about what the world thinks. Lupe is him. I just saw a clip of Lupe last night where somebody was talking about Dragon Ball Z, and he was like, nah, I don't fuck with Dragon Ball Z. And the dude was like, yo, but Dragon Ball Z raised me. And he was like, well, you was raised wrong.
I don't like Dragon Ball Z.
What did he say?
I'm gonna just put that out there.
How can you not love somebody that stands on an opinion like that? I feel like such a shitbag that it took me so freaking long to really understand the greatness of Lupe Fiasco. Again, I've listened to the albums. I loved Hip Hop Saved My Life because hip hop saved my life. So I was even banging that record back then, but I never really dove into his discography like as of recent, where you come to realize Lupe is freaking incredible. Like, yo, there's certain artists in this world that are just like on another level. You got Lupe Fiasco, you got the Royce the 5'9s, you got the Kendrick Lamars, you have the, Coles, the Joyner Lucas. You got all of these incredible artists that, you gotta look at. And when I see, Lupe dropping an album, which is unfortunate that he is one of the most blackballed artists in history to have, coming from massive smash successes where the industry was pushing him all over the place to them trying to bury him. Go check out Drill Music in Zion. My favorite record, let me look it up real quick because it was freaking awesome. Yo, even trying to find his album right now, I'm having a difficult time, and I'm on the YouTube Music app. This is crazy. Precious Things. That record right there, wow. And I mean, this album, a 10-track album, he's not trying to force feed you 100 billion records, but Precious Things, mwah. Shout outs to Lupe Fiasco. I had the opportunity, privilege, and honor to speak with him alongside Royce the 5'9 a couple years back. It's a badge of honor. I gotta rock it sometimes. I know people like, yo, Fornev, we heard that already. You're gonna hear it again, and again, and again. Salute to you if you're watching this. I doubt you are, but if you are, Lupe, Drill Music in Zion, that was freaking incredible. I'm probably going to be adding that to my rotation alongside Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and just the music that I'm really into right now, because it's phenomenal. Really dope stuff. Salute, bro. Like, keep going. In case you don't know, Lupe is low-key in a certain avenue, kind of one of us. He does love anime and manga, and we gotta love him and stand Lupe. I don't care. We're not doing the bullshit of blackballing, no! Then, since I spoke about him, Kendrick Lamar. Very interesting that his promo run for this album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, has been the most, honestly, low-key, but still very huge, like, drops. Like, in comparison to what he did with Damn to where he's at with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Damn was literally, everything throwing at the board. You got Rihanna on a record. You just have like these bold statements, the cover art, the title and everything. That was literally like the ultimate approach at, yo, let's tap into the mainstream consciousness with this music. And Damn it was life-changing, dog. I went to my very first major concert, Damn, with my sister, and it was a memory I'll never forget. It was one of the most incredible performances. He was jumping out of the stage and shit like, it was phenomenal and shit like that. So Kendrick coming into this album, Mr. Morale and Big Steppers, 5 years later, a conscious album, but a classic album. I don't care. I've been listening to it every freaking day since it came out. Classic album. And then now recently, it kind of had me a little bit conflicted because he was performing, I believe it's N95 if I'm not mistaken, on a Louis Vuitton show. It was like a runway show, and I'm just there like, the irony of it, because dog, the whole point of that record is take all that designer bullshit off and what do you have? But he's performing it there, and granted, Kendrick is free to do whatever he wants, but it definitely gives me mixed signals of Kendrick, and it also makes me feel like his departure from TDE may have a play in that. Like, dog is wearing a diamond-studded crown on his head. Granted, he don't rock chains, even though recently he's kind of been like shown with a chain on and whatnot. But wearing a diamond-studded crown is very different than the Kendrick Lamar that, you know, never really wore jewelry and was talking about how he enjoyed Fruity Pebbles, kind of like an innocent dude. Now, granted, that could have just been the image that, you know, the industry was pushing for Kendrick at the time or whatever, but for him to go from that to a diamond-studded, you know, rose thorn crown on some Jesus Christ type of stuff, and then performing a record that is very contradictory to the setting at Louis Vuitton, makes me just wonder for Kendrick, makes me as a human being, I guess you would say, worry about Kendrick. Like, yo, dog, when you're that conflicted, there must be a lot going on. And if you listen to Mr. Morale and Big Steppers, this man he's been going through something. He starts off telling you for the last 5 years he's been going through something. He's been going through heavy things and whatnot. So, just my heart goes out to Kendrick. I know he's a millionaire. You're like, yo, Finette, why your heart goes out to him? Because I can see when somebody is hurting, when somebody is going through some shit, and seeing him performing that record at that Louis V thing. I don't know if that's where his heart is at right now. I don't know if he's just kind of at a lost state in his career, but it was kind of like mixed for me. Like, I was so happy for him, like, yo, dog, they putting you up on the main stage, so to speak, but at what cost, you know? And like, I'm sure he sacrificed a lot just to do that damn album. Like, the amount of mainstream appeal in there's a lot that goes into that. Just hoping the best for him and PG Lang and Baby Keem. Baby Keem's album was freaking phenomenal. I'm interested to see where things go with Kendrick, but I'm going to keep a close eye because I love Kendrick for the consciousness. I love that he has, you know, given his career pretty much to being damn near a superhero. Wishing him the best, and I'm looking forward to the next project because, yo, that was a very solid, that is a very solid piece of work. And as of right now, I want to say that's probably the strongest album that's come out. Obviously, Lupe just dropped Drill Music and Zion, and that might be a competitor, but for me right now, that's album of the year. And the arch nemesis, so to speak, Drake. Sales are in, and Drake's album has quietly been posted to have sold 210,000 copies first week. And you know, there got to be a fair balance to it. Yeah, it was a last minute album. Yeah, it was a house music album. You got people like Irv Gotti coming out and speaking out against it, like, yo, bring the DMXs and bring back the Jay-Z's and stuff like that. So definitely an experiment, so to speak, but I still have to stand on the fact that, first of all, I can't escape that album. Like, this is one of the first Drake albums that I haven't really listened all the way through. Like, when Scorpion came out, I listened to Scorpion a lot. I still go back and listen to Scorpion. I really like the Scorpion album, but this one, I'm just not in no rush to it. It's not for me. So I guess you could argue that he did cut off a certain amount of the fandom. I don't know if this is just that he's trying to make like music to tour on. Like, this will probably be great music that you could tour on. Also, it'll bring in more female fans, which at the end of the day, female fans, statistically, it's shown that they are the ones that are going to spend the money. Okay, female fans are the ones that really come in. They're going to show out for the tickets. They're going to buy the merch. They're going to do all of that stuff. So maybe that was also where his mindset was. Let me cater to them. But I still got to stand on, and we could talk. Let's talk some numbers, right? Surprise album, a few hours before release, 210,000. Great numbers, very low for Drake. I believe he dropped like an EP or something, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back, where it had that 2C slide or whatever. I think the numbers are similar to that, right? But this is his latest offering. Cole, I want to say, did about 250-ish, 260, maybe 270, somewhere around there with the off-season. Solid album, one of the best albums of last year or whatnot. But that was pretty much where I think he had about like a week's notice as well. And still very solid. And at the end of the day, it did get a lot of spin and rotation. It had some heavy hitters on there. You had Lil Baby or whatnot. Kendrick, surprise, came with what? He didn't even really have like official singles. He had The Heart, which is normally just like a warm-up song and whatnot. And it comes in 295,000 or whatever. Right now, as it stands, the previous generation of Big Three, and I'm going to keep on saying previous, we're in a new era, baby. He's pretty much the one that, with the last offering, has came out the strongest. Now, you're probably going to say, Fornev, Certified Lover Boy did like 600,000. Okay, Damn did about 600,000. What are we talking about here? And I think Cole's last album, if I'm not mistaken, his last official album prior to that one was KOD, and I want to say it did like 350 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So you can definitely see that the previous Big Three, the embers of what they were, is slowly starting to, I don't want to say burn out, because at the end of the day, they're still widely successful, and they're still more successful than majority of the acts that you're going to see released or whatnot. But in comparison to their previous offerings, it looks like the industry is down right now. It looks like the discounting of bundles has severely impacted a lot of things. Not to say that they needed bundles or whatever. And just in general, this surprise release, I feel like it's a combination of, okay, if we do a surprise release, that means we don't got to put like no marketing thing behind it other than like the big initial launch. And I've noticed that Kendrick, one of his records, the N95 record, has been like put on rotation on radio. So they probably threw $250,000 at radio. I'm not trying to say Kendrick is the one that, like, everybody freaking, the music industry has ran on that shit, okay? It's not about Kendrick or whatnot, but you have all of that combined, and you still got to say that, okay, if Kendrick's last album, Damn, did like 600,000, Drake's last album, CLB, did about 600,000, Cole did about 3 something, but in this one, Cole's latest offering did more than Drake's latest offering. Let's just look at the latest numbers. Kendrick is the one with the highest numbers with the latest release. It's just the facts. And at the end of the day, body of work wise, it also goes in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, life-changing music, very freaking incredible. The Off Season is not far from that. Off Season was a freaking incredible album, one of the best. That and Lloyd Banks' Course of the Inevitable, 2 of the best albums of last year. Yeah, you like old head music, I can listen to the new shit too. I rocked with Kodak and all that stuff. Relax, don't play with me, dog. And then Drake, his latest offering, this dance music album, which, hey, yo, he's servicing a certain part of his fan base, but still, it's the lowest of the 3 as it stands right now. If we're going according to numbers, Damn was similar to CLB. You got to use these numbers. Boom, Kendrick is top dog. No pun intended, by the way, because he's obviously left TDE. Shout outs to TDE. But yeah, that's where we stand with it. But that's all I have for this episode. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story. Do you like the music segment? Again, recommend me some shit. I'm willing to talk whatever. There's country music out there that I probably will freaking go crazy to talk about. Anything. Heavy metal, black metal, you name it. I'm into it. I love music. I am music. That's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace, and you guys just watched another episode of ForneverNews. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications, my lord.
So just go to ForneverWorld.